This is Couples Court with the Cutlers.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for another special episode of Couples Court. Today, we're following up on some of our more impassioned cases involving infidelity. Most recent polls indicate in a third of all marriages, one or both partners admit to cheating. And those who have cheated are more likely to cheat again. And we see proof of that every day in our courtroom.
Now, one of our more memorable cases involved an engaged couple, their roommate, and a surprising allegation. Watch this.
I brought him here today because I feel that he's cheating on me.
Were you with another woman?
Sexually, no.
Are you buying any of this?
No.
She can accuse me all day, but I'm not cheating. That's what I want to tell her, but she don't believe me. It's a guilty conscience, that's what I'm thinking.
So what do you think she's deflecting?
I'm thinking, she's kind of extra close with my roommate, and...
Ms. Herrera, what is the nature of you all's relationship?
We're friends.
Are you more than friends?
No.
I found a pair of her panties on my bedroom floor. What are they doing on my bedroom floor?
We live together.
She does our laundry together. But you don't do our laundries are separate.
Have you been in a sexual relationship with Ms. Herrera?
Her and I have messed around, yeah.
But it hasn't been a relationship.
But it's not.
That proves everything right there. That's crazy.
Well, that was a surprise. So did Miss John and Mr. Willett work through their infidelity issues, or did they ultimately break off their engagement? Let's take a look.
Since appearing in court, we have took a lot of the advice of the Cutlers, and we've learned to communicate a lot better and are building our trust back.
And the relationship with Stacy, we took Cutler's advices and we separated our living arrangement.
Thanks, you guys. Since coming to court, it has helped our relationship tremendously. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Now, what always seems to surprise me in these infidelity cases is the length our litigants will go to find the truth. They become their own private investigators, and they've been surprisingly good at it. Take a look.
I buy his cologne, so I've been measuring it because it's always being used extensively. Yes.
No.
You're on Facebook pretending to be him?
Yes. I waited till he fell asleep. So that I can go through his phone, as he stated, I know his codes and stuff.
He said, okay, I'll meet you in 15 minutes. So I go across the street, I'm in the bushes, like this, waiting for him.
But on top of his pants, you see her asthma inhaler.
And an open condom. When I saw that, the automatic reaction in my mind was, yo, take a picture of this right now.
When I got the information, I took the license plate and I actually put it in, it's like a thing you can go online and look up who the vehicle owns.
Yeah. So you just a regular Sherlock Holmes.
As a woman, I'm not gonna sit around and look like nobody fool, so I did my own investigation and it all added up.
I have to say, without their efforts, we wouldn't have had all that great evidence in our courtroom to work with. Like in this next case, Miss Hope became her own private investigator as she hid in the closet to try and dig up some intel on her husband. Do you remember that one?
I do. She was a woman on a mission.
Well, here is what she found out.
I have strong suspicions that my husband is cheating on me with multiple women. So I hid in the closet in my daughter's room. He came home. I'm still in the closet, right? So his friend is outside with him. They outside talking. So he proceeds to tell his friend that he had just broke his boot headboard. I go outside, his back is turned. His friend is looking towards me. He said, because he didn't know that I was coming out.
That ain't true.
When was the last time you've been intimate with your ex?
That way before me and her even got married.
But you're still concerned.
I still am concerned, yes, Your Honor.
Is he pursuing you?
He does. If he knows I'm coming home, he calls. He wants to get a hotel room.
That's a lie.
If I wanted to, I could.
That's a lie.
So when he makes these suggestions about renting a room, have you ever taken him up on that?
No, I haven't.
And what do you respond? What do you say when he says, hey, let's do this?
I don't respond, but he'll call and then he'll try to use the baby to come and see me or whatever. And every time he calls, it's never about the child.
It's about
What is
you.
it about?
Stop like, yes.
Seeing me.
All right. So you think he still has some kind of thing for you?
I think he just thinks it's some freebie he can get.
We'll have those results for you in a minute. But first, we wanted to meet with Couples Court's aftercare specialist, Dr. Jeff Gardier, who talks to the litigants after every case. It's good to see you, Dr. Jeff.
Great to be here, my dear judges.
So, Dr. Jeff, in your experience, what is it that we should be looking for in terms of warning signs regarding infidelity?
Secrecy, big one, right?
Yeah.
Especially not accounting for where they've been or where they're going, probably because they shouldn't be there in the first place.
Right.
And then going on with that secrecy, putting codes on their telephones or on their computers. And of course, diminished or no intimacy, probably because they've spent themselves, not just emotionally, but physically, spending sexy time with the wrong person, the person who's not their spouse.
All right, were Ms. Holt's gut instincts right? Was her husband really a cheater? We'll let you know after the break. Welcome back. That was the case of Holt versus Martin, where Mrs. Holt's suspicions of her husband's whereabouts and wrongdoings ran deep. Yet he denied it all. So did he really cheat? Let's take a look. Since you've been married, have you had sexual intercourse with any other women?
Yes.
Women or woman?
Woman.
Miss Holt, tell me what you're feeling.
I don't feel nothing, but I'm ready to sign them papers.
So you're done?
I'm done. Done.
Whoa. So was Miss Holt really done, or did she decide to work it out? Miss Holt sent the court this update.
Where do we go from here? Basically, we go over if we're going to proceed with our divorce and move on with our lives. I think I'm gonna move on with my life, and this just is for me and my kids.
Ms. Holt was right, but it should be noted that we often see this in this courtroom, that people's gut feelings aren't valid at all. Here's a few eyebrow-raising suspicions that prove to be completely out of left field.
She thinks that I've been gone too long at work. She'll start like she's gonna give me oral and smell my private area to see if it smells like another female.
As I try to pull her close to me, like, baby, come here. I say, man, it smells like latex in here.
He has lost his mind.
You know?
He's lost
and
his
I'm like,
mind.
I can tell there's something wrong when we're all in the room together. I turn my head and they staring at each other. Like, basically, that's what they doing. It's just a lot.
So when I come in the house and I go in my bathroom and I smell musty private parts smelling like you done had a guy up in my house.
He got off the stage, went to another female, started singing to her.
That's what they do. They sing to women.
For your woman and sing it to another female.
He can't just sing to you. Am I right?
No.
So, Dr. Jeff, how does someone know if their suspicions are valid or they're just being paranoid?
Well, what we tend to see, if the person is rightly suspicious, there is evidence or questionable behavior which is not consistent with the cheater's past behavior. But it can go in the other direction too, where they're basing all their assumptions on things that are not based on fact. And so you almost see that paranoia turning into a delusional state.
This next case was one of my favorites. Mr. Washington brought his girlfriend to court to accuse her of cheating with his best friend.
I have found text messages that was very strange to me. Oh, I missed you. I missed talking to you. Like I said,
who are these text messages from?
From Lucky.
And Lucky's your best friend.
Right.
I'm here to prove that he could trust me and that I'm here to fight for my relationship.
Mr. Huntsman, have you ever had intimate relations of any kind with Miss Turner?
Nah. So what about the text messages, bro? Man, I miss you.
He
I want to
said
talk
you
to
missed
you.
me.
I missed her. Exactly. What do you miss, bro? You got other girls to talk to. Why would you want to talk to my girl?
Were Mr. Washington's suspicions proven right or wrong? Well, let's just say this case had a very surprising ending that neither of us saw coming.
Stay tuned for the surprise after the break. Welcome back to today's special update edition of Couples Court with our aftercare specialist, Dr. Jeff Gardier. We're taking a look at relationships on shaky ground, and it gets even shakier when the other man or woman comes to court.
Now, the case you just saw features Mr. Washington, his girlfriend, and his best friend. But was it really a love triangle like Mr. Washington thought? There's a lot of he said, she said in this case, but here's what the lie detector said.
The lie detector determined that she was being truthful, Your Honor.
Arthur Jermaine Washington, will you marry me?
Wow.
I'll marry you 1,000 times.
Well, we asked the couple for an update, and here's what they had to say.
We just want to thank you, Couples Court. We appreciated you guys, and you guys helped us out a lot. We've been communicating well.
We've been doing a fabulous job.
Congratulations. We couldn't be happier for the two of you. Now, moving on, Miss Roden brought her boyfriend to court because she too thought her significant other was cheating on her with her best friend. She was driving herself all into a tizzy just thinking about the worst case scenarios.
I usually go to Terica's house for lunch, and I pull up at Terica's house, and both of their cars are there, and I'm like pounding on the door for like 10 minutes. Nobody comes to the door.
You open the door.
And what happened when the door opened?
She kind of had that look on her like, what's going on?
I had to leave because I had to go back to work. Shortly after, I come home and they're just kiki and cacaing on the phone, and as soon as I walk in the door, he hangs up the phone.
Okay, so have you been having an affair with Mr. Elliott?
I have not.
Mr. Elliott, why are you spending so much time with your girlfriend's best friend?
What is that?
Right here. That's why.
And we had a big plan.
That's a nice
an
ring.
engagement for her.
Oh.
Leon Roden. She married me?
Yes.
Now we asked the happy couple for an update. Take a look.
We learned a lot from the court. We learned that we really love each other and that our relationship is much important to us. We thank you guys for having us, and we had a great time. Bye.
Now, we've seen time and time again plaintiffs standing at their podium making their ultimatums to significant others when it comes to cheating. Dr. Jeff, how do you know when it's really time to leave the relationship?
Well, when that cheating has become serial or just doesn't stop, or when one or both of the partners have lost all respect for one another, especially if the cheater is a liar. And then finally, if there's emotional, verbal, or physical abuse, the victim in this kind of a situation needs to make like a tree and leave.
Well, in this next case, the phrase, should I stay or should I go, was put on display in spectacular fashion as a man was brought to court to decide between his wife and his mistress. And it was the first time the wife and the mistress met face to face.
How did you meet?
I met him at the club in Las Vegas.
When you approached him and started talking to him, did he tell you that, hey, I'm married?
No, he did not.
So how soon after this meeting did you all have sex?
Maybe like a few hours later,
At his
and
house?
it was on ever since.
So what's the nature of your relationship?
I love him. I ain't gonna lie, I do.
Tell Miss Davis what this has done to you.
To me, it made me bitter. He tells everybody all these bad things that I supposed to be doing just to have an excuse to go out and do the stuff he do. But if I was such a bad woman, he wouldn't be with me. Like, she in love with a man that came back to me.
I sent him back to you. If I didn't, we would have still been together right now.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
Mr. Quinney, do you want to continue to be married to your wife?
Yeah, I want my marriage. I ain't talking to them, I'm talking to you.
Since you say you want your marriage to continue, are you willing to tell Miss Davis that this is over?
Well, I think you got your answer.
It's taking you that long? Do you want her?
Believe it or not, Mr. Quinney does finally break the silence. Find out which woman he chose after the break. Welcome back to a special update episode of Couples Court. As you just saw, Mr. Quinney was asked to decide between his wife of 16 years or his mistress. Let's see what decision Mr. Quinney finally made.
My wife.
Ms. Davis, are you willing to stay away from him?
In order to do that, I just have to block him out of my life, even though temptation is hard and I really do want to, you know, see him pursue his career for culinary arts school and further his education, which she's not going to allow him to do.
You don't know me, so I wish you quit talking like you do.
He would have been going to school and further his education.
How?
You always got him out there go-getting.
You can never
Girl,
add
that
up.
don't have
You're
nothing to do
miserable.
with
You ain't been trained well, and you need to go get your education while you work on your education.
Ladies,
because you can't help him. You can't help him.
Miss Quinny. Now that was a wild ending to a wild story. A lot of our viewers were curious, as am I, as to how it's working out for Mr. Quinny and his wife. Well, here's the answer.
After getting home, we've tried to seek a little counseling. For the most part, we've been doing our own work and trying to keep our family together. So I'm hoping that he learns his lesson, because if not, I'm gone.
Thank you, Couples Court.
Thank you, we appreciate you.
Well, that concludes this special update edition of Couples Court. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Jeff. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And as we like to say in our courtroom, don't cheat yourself out of a chance for a happy, healthy, and faithful relationship.